Good morning to all of you. Previously we discussed about the diuretics. Today we discuss about the antidiuretics. In today's lecture we discuss about the arginine vasopressin, okay, vasopressin agonist and its analogs. So let's start. Okay, so here we talking about the antidiuretics. So there is a arginine vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone. Okay, we talk about the antidiuretic hormone arginine vasopressin or vasopressin. Okay, or simple vasopressin. So this vasopressin is synthesized from the arginine vasopressin, and it's the main site of this arginine vasopressin is the where vasopressin synthesized at the in CNS there is a synthesis of the vasopressin, then it's transferred to the posterior pituitary. Okay, posterior pituitary is transferred this vasopressin. Okay, also this vasopressin is synthesized in heart also. Okay, heart also, and it also in the adrenal medulla. Okay, it is in the adrenal medulla. Okay, adrenal medulla it is also synthesized. In heart it is synthesized in response of the increase the wall tension. If there is a increase in the wall tension, then there is a increase of the synthesis of the vasopressin in heart, and this vasopressin it's cause the decrease the ventricular relaxation. Okay, and also there is a coronary vasoconstriction. And decrease the ventricular relaxation. Okay, so in the heart, also it synthesized in the adrenal medulla. And it cause the stimulation of the increase the secretion of the catecholamines. Is the increase. Also it facilitates the growth of the adrenal cortex. Okay, and synthesize the aldosterone. Okay, so here antidiuretic hormone, or we can say arginine vasopressin, both are same. Okay, vasopressin is synthesized from the arginine vasopressin. The main site it's in CNS, hypothalamus. Okay, then it is transferred to the posterior pituitary. Okay, it also synthesized into other like heart and adrenal medulla. Okay, in heart it is due to there is a in response to the increased wall tension. Okay, so it increase the synthesis of the vasopressin, so there is a coronary vasoconstriction, and it also inhibit or impair the ventricular relaxations. Okay, in adrenal medulla increase the vasopressin, there is a increase the release of the catecholamine. Okay, and it increase the growth of the adrenal cortex. Okay, Okay, so also there is a chances of the increase in the aldosterone with this vasopressin. Now we learn about the vasopressin receptor. Okay, receptors of the vasopressin. This receptor of the vasopressin, we have the V1 and V2. Earlier there is a V1A and V1B also. Okay, and V2. Main here the role of the V2, it is a antidiuretic response. We are talking about the antidiuretic, and this antidiuretic response in renal there is a V2 receptor. Okay, so there is a V2 receptor. It is a responsible for the antidiuretic actions, and it is a G protein coupled receptor. Okay, it's a G protein coupled receptor. There is a G stimulatory type. There is an increase in the adenyl cyclase activity. Okay, adenyl cyclase activity is increase with this and increase the cyclic AMP. Okay, so this is V2, it is responsible for the anti-diuretic response. Let's see the V1A and V1B. So this V1A, it is mostly in the vascular and hepatic blood vessels. Okay, it is in the hepatic blood vessels and in the various vessels. Okay, then V1B, this V1B, it is present in the pituitary and it is the adrenal medulla. Okay, so there is a release of the adrenocorticotropic hormone. It is responsible. Okay, so this V1, it is the main, there is a vasoconstriction in the nature, contraction in the nature, and it is responsible for the increase the resistance. Okay, particularly see in the CHF. Okay, okay, so it's a talk about the V1, V2 and V3. This V1B, it is also called the V3. V1A is a V1 and V2. Here the main role is a V2 as a anti-diuretic action. So how this V2 it is acting as a anti-diuretic? Let's see. Okay, so here the V2 mediated action. So we already know about it is a lumen of the collecting duct. There is a collecting duct. Okay, principal cells of the collecting duct. Here side it is a lumen. This is the apical membrane. Okay, it is the apical membrane. This is the basolateral membrane. Okay, it is the basolateral membrane. Okay, so this V2 receptor, it is present at a basolateral membrane. Okay, it is a G stimulatory type. Okay, so when there is a vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, it is binding with this V2 receptor, it is a G protein coupled receptor. There is an increase in the adenyl cyclase activity. So there is an increase in the cyclic AMP and there is a increase in the protein kinase A and various proteins, structural proteins. Okay, so this increase in the cyclic AMP and protein kinase A activity, so it's translocate or insertion of the aquaporin 2 channel from this cytosol. Okay, vesicle containing the aquaporin 2 channel. This aquaporin 2 channel, it is a translocate into the apical membrane. Okay, so we have the vasopressin, it is acting on the V2 receptor. V2, it is a G protein coupled receptor. It increases the adenyl cyclase activity. So there is an increase in the formation of the cyclic AMP from the ATP. Okay, this cyclic AMP, it is responsible of the translocation or insertion of the aquaporin 2 channel. Okay, water containing containing channel, there is a aquaporin 2 channel. Aquaporin 2 channel, there is a translocation at the lumen side, apical membrane. So more water which is present in the lumen, it is go inside the cells. Okay, it is go inside the cells of the principal cell of the collecting duct and it is acting like the anti-diuretic. Okay, so it is acting like the anti-diuretic. This is the vasopressin by the V2 receptor action. So let's see the V1 mediated action. This vasopressin, it is a V1 action also and V2 action also. Previously we discussed about the V2 mediated, which is a more anti-diuretic. Okay, then V1 action also. So this V1, it is a vasopressin. This causes the contraction of the, there is a contraction of the various mesangial cells, glomerular cells. Okay, also the contraction of the vascular smooth muscle, which is present in the vasa recta. Okay, which is present in the vasa recta. It also contraction. Okay, so it reduces the inner medullary blood flow and causes the maximum concentrating capacity. Okay, so it is also responsible for the this antidiuretic, or it decrease the GFR also. Okay, so this is the V1 and V2 mediated effect of the vasopressin. Okay, this is the vasopressin action. Let's see other non-renal effect. We are talking about the diuretic. Okay, so main one is the renal effect, and second one is the non-renal effect. So non-renal effect, if we talk about, we are not going in the detail of this non-renal effect, but in the CNS, there is a secretion of the ACTH, more secretion of the ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, okay, which is transferred to the anterior pituitary. Okay, and this vasopressin, it's through the CNS influence the autonomic effect, because it is acting on the adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, so ultimately it can modulate the heart rate, blood pressure, and respiratory effect also. Okay, so this is the CNS. Okay, then if we talk about the cardiovascular systems, so this V1, it causes the V1 mediated potent vasoconstriction. Okay, vasoconstriction into the resistance vessels, and if also we give the higher dose than the antidiuretic, this vasopressin cause the angina. Okay, there is a chances of the angina in patient if we increase the dose of this vasopressin. Okay, there is a contraction, so there is a angina effect. Also in heart, particularly in the heart, it reduces the cardiac output. Okay, and heart rate due to the coronary vasoconstriction. Okay, there is a decrease in the heart rate. So let's see the other effect. There is a coagulation. If we talk about the coagulation in the blood, then this vasopressin, it is a increase the factor 8. Okay, increase the factor 8 and von Willebrand factor. Okay, von Willebrand factor. Okay, so it increase the circulating level of this factor 8 and von Willebrand factor, both are increased by this vasopressin. Okay, so it is useful in the various coagulative condition. Okay, it is the antidiuretic, but it is also useful in the various coagulative condition. It is also the contraction effect, so it is useful in the various vascular hemorrhage, in various conditions of the vascular hemorrhage. Okay, let's see some important pharmacokinetics. Okay, some important pharmacokinetics. So this vasopressin, arginine vasopressin, antidiuretic hormone. Okay, arginine vasopressin, so it's a peptide in nature. So it inactivated orally. It is a destroy. Okay, it is a peptide, so it is a destroy. So we are not taken this by the oral route. Okay, so it's a given by the parenteral route, intravenous, intramuscular, and subcu also. Okay, so try to remember this thing. So let's see the therapeutic uses. Okay, let's see the therapeutic uses. So if we talk about the therapeutic uses, then we first have to talk about the V2 mediated effect, which is the antidiuretic. Okay, so here I want to discuss the first is the diuretic effect. So it is the useful as a, it's an in name there is antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so it is useful in the diabetes insipidus. Okay, so it is a useful in the diabetes insipidus, and here we use the one another drug or vasopressin analog. It is a desmopressin. Okay, desmopressin is a use. There is a desmopressin is a use in the diabetes insipidus. Okay, so this diabetes insipidus we use the desmopressin. Okay, it is useful in the centrally diabetes insipidus, not in the nephrogenic. Okay, not in the nephrogenic. And how it is act? It is by the V2 receptor. We discussed the earlier. Okay. Then this V2 mediated also it increase the clotting factor. We already know it is the von Willebrand factor and factor 8. Okay, so it is useful as an intravenous infusion 0.3 microgram per kilogram in the bleeding disorder. Okay, in the bleeding disorder or von Willebrand disease. Okay, it is useful in the type 1 and sometimes it is also useful the type 2. Type 1 and type 2 von Willebrand disease. It is also useful in the hemophilia. Okay, because it also the factor 8, releasing the factor 8, so it is also useful in the hemophilia. And it is useful in the hemophilia A but not the B. Okay, try to remember this thing. It is useful in the hemophilia A. There is a releasing factor 8. It is also effective in the bleeding. If there is a bleeding due to the cirrhosis or any other drug induced bleeding, if we give this drug, then it is useful. Okay, let's see. Vasopressin it is acting on the V2 also and V1 also. Okay, so we already discussed about the V2. In V2 there is antidiuretic and other, then it is a bleeding. Okay, so antidiuretic and bleeding. Then now we discuss about the V1 mediated vasopressin use. So it is the contraction of the various vessels. Okay, so it is useful control the bleeding. It is useful in the control the bleeding due to the bleeding esophageal varices. Okay, esophageal varices में ये यूज होगी. इट इज द vasopressin. Okay, and it also the reduce the bleeding in some other causes like the cyclophosphamide induced bleeding. Okay, cyclophosphamide induced bleeding. Okay, it is useful. So try to remember this thing. Okay, so let sorry it's there is a V2 mediated 1 or 2 effect. It is a one, it also useful in the nocturnal enuresis. Okay, nocturnal enuresis, there is a V2 mediated effect and it's a useful in the nocturnal enuresis also. And this desmopressin it is a useful by the nasal spray also. It is given by the nasal spray also. It is also useful in the headache due to the lumbar puncture. Okay, due to or after the spinal anesthesia. After the spinal anesthesia, if we give this drug, then it is useful in the controlling the headache also. Okay, so main vasopressin therapeutic use, it's the V1, V2, antidiuretic, diabetes insipidus, and there is a nocturnal enuresis. Also it's a bleeding again there is a von Willebrand factor, von Willebrand disease. Okay, von Willebrand disease, and second one it's a hemophilia and some other bleeding. Okay, it is also useful in the headache. So this is the V2 mediated effect. V1 mediated effect, there is a V1 mediated effect, there is a contraction it for the decrease in the bleeding, esophageal varices. Okay, and reduce the bleeding in other causes like the cyclophosphamide induced bleeding or hemorrhagic cystitis. Okay, there is a hemorrhagic cystitis, then it is a useful this drug. Okay, so let's see the adverse effect. Let's see the adverse effect. So adverse effect is either due to the V1 effect or V2 effect. V2 effect, there is a water intoxication. Okay, water intoxication occur, okay, with any of this agent like the vasopressin. We also call about the desmopressin. Okay, other vasopressin analog, it is the lipopressin and terlipressin. And this terlipressin, previously we know about the uses in the bleeding esophageal varices. This terlipressin is a more useful. Okay, so there is a V2 mediated, there is a more water intoxication, and V1 mediated side effects, it is a less severe with the desmopressin. Okay, this desmopressin it is a more selective to the V2. So desmopressin के साथ V1 वाली effect ADR नहीं आएगी. Okay, so let's see the various V1 mediated effect. It is a contraction of the vessels. So there is a vasoconstriction. Okay, there is a vasoconstriction. If there is a cutaneous vasoconstriction, then there is a pallor of the face. Okay, if there is a peripheral vasoconstriction, if we give the higher dose, then there is a chances of the gangrene. Okay, there is a chances of the gangrene, and also there is a chances of the coronary vasoconstriction. Coronary vasoconstriction with this vasopressin. Okay, V1 mediated ADR. So it's all about the vasopressin and its analog. Let's see the name of the vasopressin analog. It's a one. It's a lipopressin. Lipopressin. Then terlipressin. Okay, this terlipressin is a prodrug of the. It is a prodrug of the vasopressin. Okay, then main it is a desmopressin. Main it is a desmopressin, and this desmopressin it is a more potent. It is a more potent drug than the vasopressin, and it is a highly selective to the V2 receptor. So there is a no V1 related ADR like the gangrene and coronary vasoconstriction. It does not occur with this desmopressin. Okay, it is a this desmopressin it is a useful in the various conditions we already know about. There is a centrally induced the diabetes insipidus with 2 effect, von Willebrand disease, hemophilia. Okay, also in the nocturnal enuresis it is given in the children. So these are the V2 mediated effect, and it is a more V2 selective. It is a more V2 selective, so it is a useful in the this for conditions. Okay, so if we talk about the dose of the this desmopressin, then daily dose, if oral की बात करें then it is a 0.3 to roughly 0.5 to 0.6 to 0.6 milligram orally taken. Okay, and it is a per day dose. It may be divided into the 3 times. Okay, these are the oral doses. Also it is if we give for the nocturnal enuresis in children. Okay, so in children it is it's given by the intranasal route also. Okay, so these are the intranasal route also. This drug it is useful as a intranasal route also, and it is a 5 to 10 microgram. This is the 5 to 10 microgram intranasal route, okay, or at the bad time, okay, there is a, because we want to the noxular aneurysm, prevent the noxular aneurysm with this desmopressin. If we talk about the desmopressin particular ADR, okay, then there is a chances of the allergic reactions, and if we use by this nasal route, then there is a chances of the nasal congestion, irritation, nasal mucosa irritation, or sometimes there is a ulceration also, okay, with this desmopressin, okay.